A letter to Robert De Niro. There's a baby crying in the background, so this is appropriate. Hi, Bob. That was my grandfather's name. Hey, remember when your movie got Reagan shot? Yeah, me too. Let's talk about that. Taxi Driver was one of my comfort movies for a long time, back when I carried a wallet of about a dozen DVDs through all my travels. Something about the somber, soothing score, your methodical narration of Travis's journals. It was mostly comforting to watch a depressed man find a purpose and rescue a abused teenager from human trafficking. It's pretty satisfying. Unfortunately, violence begets violence. Travis was smart enough to go find Iris's parents and bring her home without violence. Those pimps would have been replaced by more pimps, Iris replaced with more child sex workers, because it's a never-ending cycle of human trafficking and abuse out there. I understand his motivation and the innate urge for vengeance against abusers. Travis was a soldier in Vietnam. Honorable discharge, meaning they knew there was something wrong with his mental health and it wasn't his fault. It had to be really wrong to be sent home from Vietnam with all your limbs. He had all this knowledge and training to kill. That energy had to go somewhere. What if Travis had shot the politician instead? Someone would have replaced him too. Betsy wouldn't be saved. She had a life that was good for her. Travis didn't understand why he didn't fit into it. At the last minute, he identified the real enemy. Iris had no control over her life. She could have kept running back to Matthew. So it's kind of like Travis traumatized her on purpose. He never meant to live. I think in the original script he didn't. The ending could have been a fantasy as his brain was dying. Either way, it's still a satisfying ending. Not to John Hinckley, apparently. What was your reaction when you found out Hinckley's motivation for shooting Reagan was to impress Jodie Foster, who played a child prostitute in your movie? That the message of the film had been so radically warped that the President of the United States was almost assassinated because of a movie. I feel there would have been an immediate concern for Jodie Foster. Like, I assume your concern for her was greater than that for Reagan. I can tell you genuinely adored Jodie Foster as like a daughter figure and a beloved coworker, on the same level as you. It's rare to see such mutual respect between adult actors and child actors, and that's why the film had so much heart. Did you feel guilty when Hinckley shot Reagan because he was inspired by your movie and obsessed with Jodie Foster? Jodie was a child. She chose to be in that movie, but she was not responsible for the content. You didn't write it, but Travis was you. You brought him to life, made him a real person. Did the Travis in you reach for a gun, disregard the consequences, and make sure Jodie would be safe from this monster forever? What did you feel when you found out Hinckley was released from prison? Did you reach for that same gun? You're getting a lot of good press about your new family. Adorable baby. Good work. Good work. This is all good for your Oscar nomination. You know who didn't get nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon? The leading man. I still won't say his name because I'm proving I can keep a promise. I still haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon because I refuse to watch any of his films unless he's proud enough of his work to sit next to me and watch it. I'm holding my attention hostage. I'm sure it's a good movie. I'm not sure your co-star was at full capacity while conducting a volatile secret relationship with me through texting and phone calls during the entire filming. They're not promoting his life because he doesn't have a life besides stalking me. Because I wrote him a letter when I was 12 years old that fucked him up for life. I'm that good of a writer. I didn't realize I had his attention until he started talking to me 2 years ago. Now he wants to pretend like none of that ever happened. I can't live in denial. I don't think there's anything I can do to tarnish his reputation or get him held accountable for fucking with my mental health for 2 years. No one believes me. I have schizoaffective disorder, so it's difficult for me to believe me sometimes. You know this man, Bob. You've worked closely with him and Scorsese. I think some kind of intervention needs to happen. I can't help from this side of the screen, but I'm suffering a lot. You don't need to shoot anyone for me. A conversation with him, like a father figure and a respected coworker, is all. I believe in you. I have literally had dreams about having conversations with you, Robert De Niro, about your movies and your life. I could send a long-ass list of questions, but the best way to establish being effective co-learners is to have an organic conversation where we learn about each other. In a diner over toast and coffee. Hopefully sometime soon. Letter, email, phone call. I'd love to talk to you and become good friends. Please let me know if you have any questions. With great love and respect, Kristen Grady.